We cut our pizza with scissors. This is also a minimalist hack because you no longer need to use a silly pizza cutter that you literally cannot use for anything. Instead, just use your kitchen scissors.
Okay, why do I feel like this video is gonna be a little bit like, well, I do this and I'm Swedish, which means that it's the right way to do it. Pigeons,
Cutting
pigeons
pizza
are
is such an
cute.
easy and fun way to slice pizza.
I have a pizza slicer. I do use scissors.
And a Swedish tradition that I grew up with is to have separate duvets. Having separate duvets makes so much more sense. It is so much more comfortable.
I do cut scissors with pizza. I do cut pizzas with scissors.
A world of difference. If you have one duvet, it's big and bulky. And
the worst videos you can watch are the X amount of things you shouldn't do. Yeah, like the.
Speaking of duvets and bedding, the next thing that is really important
the things you shouldn't do in Japan, and then you ask Japanese people and they're like, I don't really care, just don't be respectful, I guess. And the tips are like, don't breathe when you're in Shibuya or blah blah blah.
You should try that we all do in Sweden.
Not literally,
is that
but
we have a duvet cover and a duvet inner and a sheet to make our bed. We don't have any top sheets, we don't have any blankets. That is absolutely disgusting. Sorry, but
okay, girl, you're just talking about your. What is she talking about? She's just like, okay, these are my preferences, which means that they are right.
It is because you don't really wash them as often. You need to have a duvet if it's cold in your country, and you need to put the duvet inside of the duvet cover, and then you wash the duvet cover.
You guys have like on your blankets. You guys on your blankets, you have like the bedding, right? You have bedding, right? Like, right? Like you have your pillow and then you have like a cover over the pillow. Right? Yeah? What is she talking about?
Weekly, and this way you have a very clean bed. When I first came to New Zealand, I was taught about the idea of a top sheet, and you sort of put the duvet on top, but you never really encase it. But that means that when you move around throughout the bed, your body will touch the duvet inner, and you simply cannot wash that once a week because it doesn't last as long as if you do that. So absolutely, if you have a duvet inner and it's cold in your country, put a duvet outer on it, and in the summer when it's too warm,
read the comments on
duvet inner away, and you just sleep.
Dunno, thank you for joining us.
Blanket. Easy. One of my favorite Swedish sayings is something like, there is no such thing as bad weather, only bad clothing. Very literal and very Swedish, but as a child this was normally printed on our weekly mailer at kindergarten or at school, which basically meant for our parents to remember to put proper clothing on us because we would be outside all day. No
I don't know, Vanilla. I don't know, man.
I think most people these days tend to stay inside when it's bad weather outside instead of just going out there. But by putting on proper clothing, it makes it so much easier to be outside in all weathers, and it's so much better for your health to be outside and breathe in the microbiome rather than just staying inside and watching TV.
Did she kind of just
Another
like
Swedish health hack for you guys.
Google like
One of the
Swedish
things that I didn't think was weird, but that became
Did she like go, ChatGPT, can you tell me if things are
Swedish? The fact that we don't talk about race. The first time I heard the word Caucasian, I was 20 and living in Japan, and before that I had never heard any of these words, and it's just not something we talk about. Which brings me on to the next point, is that you never have to disclose this information if you, for example, go to the bank or going to the university. And that information is absolutely not necessary for the bank to know when I'm opening my bank account, and frankly, it's ridiculous. So do what the Swedish people do.
My microbiome is living on a healthy diet of McDonald's,
in Sweden, we treat our
onions,
children with respect, and
spinach,
we treat them as already humans, which is something I really.
I'm sorry. Did you?
We treat our children with respect, and we treat.
Okay. I don't think. I know that there is other like expectations maybe across the world, but being like, yeah, we Swedes actually respect our children is a wild statement. Those filthy Germans, they don't respect their children.
treat them as already humans, which is something I
don't
really,
respect
really
our
enjoy,
children.
and I think everyone should do. Kids don't have to address older people in a certain way. Kids don't really have to act in a certain way. Kids are really allowed to be kids, which means they're allowed to make mistakes. They're allowed to be upset. They don't have to hug someone if they don't want to. They don't have to kiss someone if they don't want to.
And Swedish kids are often also
that I think every country should adopt.
very,
Kids are the
very
best thing in the world,
spoiled.
so I absolutely think we should treat kids with
We don't
the
respect
utmost
children.
respect. Now, this one, I don't know if it's for all of Sweden, but it's definitely something I've experienced a lot of times. But that is people, when I get invited to dinner parties, people ask me, is there something you don't eat? My goodness, this saves so much trouble having a dinner party or going to a dinner party. I normally tell my best friend when I go to dinner first,
you don't respect me, I don't respect you. That's the principle that I live after.
And it makes it a lot easier. One of the most important Swedish traditions is being whole and clean. Now, what does this mean? This is a deeply rooted tradition that goes so far back in Swedish history, but ultimately it means to always present yourself as best as you possibly can.
Hey, so everyone in other countries are really dirty, you know? They wear dirty clothes and, you know, I so badly